Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
And it feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light, when you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Today, or is there any part of you you'd like to get to know better or change your relationship with?
I think the ongoing theme for me lately has been just regretting a lot of things. I guess I could call it the part that regrets or wants to change certain things, in the past. I was thinking that focusing on that part could be good today.
Sure. And so when you're feeling that part come up, where do you notice it in or around your body?
Right now I feel a pulsation in my gut and light tension in my heart, I would say, both of these things.
Okay. And as you notice it there, how do you feel towards it?
I feel all right, and while you were asking, I felt some energy, like a quick thing, and it felt a bit sad.
See if you're able to kind of just keep turning towards it and see if you can in any way deepen your access to it. Can you see more of it, or do you feel anything more about it?
It's showing me right now all the people I've met and became close to while I was traveling or studying. And Just that it's longing for connection, I guess, like this part.
Yeah. And so how do you feel about working with it today? Do you feel, are there other parts coming up that are saying not to work with it, or?
No.
Okay. Are you curious about it?
Yeah.
Try letting it know that you're curious about it and just see how it reacts to that.
It reacts well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it calm down a bit.
Okay. And if it's okay with you to go ahead and ask it, what is it that it wants you to know? Or what does it want you to know about it? Just wait for the answer.
It's afraid that afraid that my life, is not going to be as interesting or as engaging or surrounded by different people, or like a lot of people who are like-minded. Like I'm not gonna have the community.
Yeah. And are you okay feeling that kind of afraidness that it's showing you?
Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show that I'm compassionate towards it, and I'm some degree also afraid of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it makes sense to you. Yeah, just let it know it makes sense to you. And you might ask more about that fear of, what what's behind that? What would be bad about not finding these like-minded people, or life not being quite as interesting or engaging? Just ask it that. Are you getting anything from it?
Not right now. I'm feeling my heart pounding, but I'm trying to ask, what is it afraid of? Like,
Yeah, like what would be so bad about that? And you don't have to share it with me if it wants to show you something, and that's something that you understand, and that's fine. You don't have to communicate that with me.
It's. I think it's afraid that they'll just shut down, and that that they won't be able to express themselves.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
So go ahead and show that part that makes sense to you, and just try to show it some compassion and understanding for what it's worried about. And can you see this part, or are you just sensing it?
Yeah, I'm mostly just sensing it right now in my heart. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel okay feeling these feelings? I know you said your heart was beating fast. Are you okay feeling these feelings now?
Yes, I'm alright.
Yeah, okay, let it know. Let it know that you're okay feeling this with it.
Maybe there is another part that just also comes up for me quite frequently with this regretful part. The other part that kind of more critical, which says that because I've studied in different countries, like I studied in Moscow and didn't finish. I tried to do masters in economics in Budapest and didn't finish. Then I kind of not like I did my teaching. I worked in one school, and then we did like 1 year program for teaching and pedagogy. And now I'm kind of also turning from that career. And it's like the critical voice is kind of like comparing myself to all the peers that I had that like focused on something, and it says that I'm like wasted some time of that.
And how does that critical part feel about you talking to this other part right now? It came up.
It feels, I don't think they are in the conflict or they are polarized. The other part is mostly just like longing for connection.
Yeah.
Because like both in the US or Budapest, like I've met so many people who were so close to me, those kind of people who are kind of like your family. And they're like forming you.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of almost a connection that I rarely experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the critical part, I think, is just, I don't think they are polarized. It just came up.
Okay. See if you can ask the critical part if it would, how it would feel about giving you some space so that you can keep talking with this this part that's longing for connection, and just let it know that you can work with it another time, and if it needs to jump in, it can, but if it wouldn't mind just giving you some space, see how it reacts to that.
Yeah, it feels okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, it's actually interesting for me because a lot of the times the IFS process says working with protectors, but for me it's almost easier to work with exiles. It always comes up this way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are you able to get that space, and are you able to turn back to this part, this longing for connection?
Yeah, I feel sad, like I feel her sadness,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm crying a little, but trying to be compassionate to her.
Yeah. And you still feel okay with that crying, that feeling that you're having now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, just see if you can get closer to that part. And it sounded like you were mentioning it's a her.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to see more about it yet, or now? Do you? Yeah. What do you see about it?
Um, I don't see it clearly. I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a pure, like naive,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe child energy.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Try asking this part how it feels about you being wanting to get close to it now. Does it feel like it can trust you?
Mm. Yeah, I think she's okay with the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of feelings. I almost feel a bit of trembling in heart.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of crying
Mm-hmm.
with her right now.
Yeah, you might ask if there's any more that she wants to show you, or anything else about her experience that she'd like to show you while you're here and you're able to listen.
I feel like she's just telling me that it's easier for me to connect with her when I'm not in Kazakhstan. Like, because you're not like burdened by all this, quote unquote adult things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Like
the survival stuff,
so,
right?
Yeah, like she's missing some exploration and freedom.
And how do you feel hearing that from her?
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. So just stay with it. Just stay with it.
If she's telling me like that she's longing for some kind of a community here as well. I'm telling her that I also long for that.
Yeah.
That we are together in this wish.
Yeah. You might try offering, you might invite her to see you as that part of that community, and not to dismiss that you want and need people in the external world around you, but to let her know that you're there for her. And that you can act in some ways like that support system and that network. Just see how she reacts to that.
She is a little skeptical.
Sure. Yeah, and again, I don't want to dismiss. I'm not saying what she's saying is invalid. Just that when she's hurting or in pain, that she can come to you and ask how she feels. Just that it's two of you in this situation instead of just what might feel like one. You might also offer to ask if there's somewhere in her body where she feels like she's carrying this pain, and if she would like to try unloading those feelings now with you.
He's more calm now. It's mostly just this heart.
Yeah.
Heart pounding, because I usually don't hear or maybe don't notice my heart pounding.
Yeah. So yeah, ask if she would like to kind of unload that feeling. And if she feels like she's in a safe place with you to do that.
I don't think that she like trusts. I feel my heart pounding, and I felt kind of tingling wave around my heart and the gut.
And is that lack of trust, is that not trusting me or not trusting the environment, or is it not trusting you?
It's not trusting me.
Okay.
Maybe suspecting that like I'm blended now, or maybe that I'm not blended now, but then like tomorrow
You're right.
I might not be in that energy, those kind of.
Right. Yeah, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Just let her know that makes sense. And we're not going to do anything if she's not feeling in a place of trust. So you might just ask, what can you do for her to help build that trust? If it's come back again tomorrow with her, you can negotiate that with her. What does she need from you? What would she like?
She just wants to just have more time connected.
Yeah.
And like talking or being connected by other means.
And what's your response to that?
I'm telling her I will try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say just stay with her now as long as it feels right for you. I'm not gonna throw any more questions at you, because it sounds like you're doing what she wants, and you're able to listen to her and respond.
She says like she misses just walking a lot, because where I live there was a lot of like forests or fields around when I walked and meditated.
Yeah. Sounds like she has a lot of insight into what keeps your system happy and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been telling me or showing me that this part was kind of asleep or repressed maybe, because there is not much of the things that activates it around here.
Right.
I'm asking her, what could we do, considering the where we're at the moment.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, do some
weather-wise
brainstorming. Or you might take her to a place where she has it all and kind of just let her show you, rather than saying, what can we do here in Kazakhstan, you might just, take her to a place where she can explore and kind of show you what her favorite things are,
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about connecting with this part tomorrow and the day after? Not with me, but just with yourself. Is that?
Yeah, I'll try
Yeah.
to do that. Sometimes it just doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes other parts come up, but I will try to connect with.
I think it'd be good to take note of what those other parts are, and make them kind of a target for understanding, because this part has a lot to say to you and a lot to share with you, and for you two to dream of together. And
mm-hmm.
if there are other parts getting in the way, then, well, we want to figure out why and what we can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
How's the heart pounding feeling?
Mm-hmm. It's all right now.
Yeah.
I'm just telling her that I'll come back and just thanking her.
That's beautiful. You might also let those other parts, if you know of them, the ones that come up, you might kind of invite them to take a peek, to look at the work you're doing now, and just showing them that you're okay with doing this, that you're not overwhelmed by this part, and that you can see that it's good it's helpful for the system.
I don't feel my other parts right now.
Well, does this feel complete for you? Is there a good way to end this?
I think it's been good.
Sounds good. Sounds like you.
It's just been.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it sounds like you know just what to do when you're in the right, state, and you've made space to be with that part.
Yeah, it's like it's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand that like completely. It's been on my mind a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you really, if these are real problems in the external world, then it might stay on your mind until you find a way to resolve them. So I want to make sure we're not sending a message to the parts that that they're being unreasonable, or that they we should just get over it or anything like that. Like,
yeah.
Do you have any other questions for me, or anything else you'd like to talk about with me?
I'm curious if you do you try to do the IFS process for yourself mostly, or you're seeing a therapist, or you have someone who is practicing it with you as well?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I would say, I do a pretty in-depth check-in with myself every day. It's my favorite part of the day, besides the call I do with other people. I also study IFS every day, and I write about it every day, and I'm planning these projects, so I am pretty deep in it. But I also have a practitioner who kind of coaches me and helps me, think about my work here and how these calls are going. But at the moment, I do not have someone who I'm regularly seeing to do the IFS, to go through the process with me like that. But I'm open. I'm open to it.
Oh, and do you ever feel like you are like? For me, sometimes I feel like I can't, like I'm blended.
Yeah, sure.
Like I cannot feel the self. Like some days I feel calm, at least calm, and try to. Because I remember, I think I read it in one of the interviews, or that if you can access to at least one quality, then try to work from there.
Uh-huh.
It means you are at least partially in your self-energy, and it means you can do some work. But sometimes I don't feel like I'm trying to meditate and going through the process, and either a lot of parts coming in and I'm not even sure which one am I talking to, or just I'm not even sure that the voice that I'm talking with them is the not another part.
Yeah. And
like self-like part.
And are you trying to do this daily, or how do you start the process? Like, how do you decide when to do it?
Not daily, because sometimes I just maybe once in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But especially now, it's been harder for me because I've been doing it more frequently before. And I don't know what, something stops me from writing, but I think I should try one day, because I've been writing more when I was younger.
Yeah, or just listen to, just ask, what is that part that's stopping me? What does it want me to know? What is it afraid of? I'll just say for myself, my parts check-in, I do it every day. Not only do I do it every day, but for me, it's the most important part of my day. And so I give my very best energy to it, which means, every morning I get up and I do a little morning routine or whatever. And there's kind of a part of my day that's my peak energy. And that, for a while now, I've said, okay, what am I giving my peak energy to? And since discovering IFS in this process, I consider that the most important thing I can do. And so that's where it goes. So I think that's one reason why it works so well for me, is because, I'm not saying anything about how you're doing it, but I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting until I'm upset. I'm not waiting until I'm bored or something. It's like I'm actually putting it as the most important thing that I'm doing each day, and putting it right at the front of the day when I'm at my peak.
And do you ever experience like that did it work for you like immediately, straightforward, or you had to do it, or it came more of time?
Well, I think that, this might sound like a fake answer, but I think that it always works. I think the IFS always works because either I do great work with a part or I don't, and I at least learn some of the landscape just by trying to be curious. Even if all I'm doing is trying, I don't even get the curious part, then I can at least say, okay, why isn't this working? And yeah, some days I feel awful. The other day I had COVID, or, I'm in some really bad place and I don't feel like I have the capacity to work with parts. But the least I feel like I'm learning there is, okay, here's the parts that come up. Here's the conditions that come up that keep me from being able to do it. And so, in that way, I feel like it always works because I'm learning something each.
And it's I assume that you're just mostly doing it. You're not listening to the guided like meditations anymore. You're doing it yourself.
Yes.
I see. Okay, I think I need to.
And I don't know, that might not work for everyone, but and I also had a daily practice of sitting and meditating already. So I'd been doing that for almost 2 years. So, it helped having those other things in place. I'm not in a country that I'm not worrying about food and water or even having to go to work. So I have a lot of privileges in that regard. So, it's what works for me.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. I always was struggling with consistency, but I think I need to try at least to the 5 minutes.
That's a great attitude. That's the same. Yeah, I never ask myself to do it for more than 2 minutes. It's just showing up. It's like brushing your teeth or anything else. That's just kind of like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to do this thing at the same time every day, and or about the same time, and I'm going to give it a try. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's fine too. And sometimes I go deep and I'm there for 30 minutes, but a lot of times it's just 5.
I just wanted to ask that.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
And it would be, I think I'll maybe book next week.
I hope so.
Same time or Friday, same time, if it works for you. Maybe one of those days.
I'd love to talk with you again. I hope you do.
And I'm curious how tomorrow's call with this person come.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'd love to hear about it. And again, if there's anything I can do for you all, or a way that we can all collaborate, I want this to be a community. I don't want it to be just me talking to people and, in this format necessarily. So I'm open to all brainstorming and all requests for anything. Let's do it.
It could be possibly fun for me to try to kind of be someone who asks questions as well. So I think we'll try tomorrow with them, because they said that it's interesting. And if you would be interested, that would
absolutely
be interesting as well.
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with you that way.
All right, then I'll let you know.
Thank you.
And hope you'll have a good weekend ahead.
It was nice talking with you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Zikri, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.